And it looks like we're live now with Billy Bong catching up.
Howdy, fellas.
So it's been a while since I've done one of these live streams, so I feel like I have no.
Yeah, what happened? You were doing one a week. What happened to that? Wednesday at night, I remember.
Yeah, no, and I want to get back to the thing is I have to now put my money where my mouth is when it comes to self-responsibility and fuck it, I'll admit I'm still unemployed. Been working freelance jobs, but the problem is that I need to upgrade my skills. So as of late, I've been really catching up on coding. It's something I've been postponing and postponing. Because I make my living, something I make my living as a graphic designer and working within advertising and all that. But the skills up until now that I've had, and by the way, I want to get into this in case this could help somebody else out. Anybody else who's on the same boat, which are most YouTubers. Most YouTubers work some sort of in a creative field of some sort. And it's almost always that, either marketing or advertising. Anyway, long story short, my Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign skills are just not enough anymore. And I've been having to learn HTML, CSS, JavaScript. And it's like a whole new fucking language. And it's not easy. And
I don't know how to do any of that shit well.
And it's not, let me tell you later, I'm going to give a couple of shout outs to websites that you can get a lot of free courses, and the free courses can take you pretty far. The one I'm working with now is udacity.com. You know, like the word audacity, but without the A.
Yeah.
There's also Code Academy. There's the W3 schools. And plus I've been wanting to get into, like, now that I'm starting to see the potential of that, for all my shit talking about solving the world's problems and all that, I think you would solve much more problems with, I'm not saying with HTML and coding only, but by making websites, making apps, like really creating stuff, because that's another thing that has kind of kept me from doing a lot of live streams. A lot of times I'll listen to my live streams and I'm like, I feel like I sound like I'm so full of shit that I don't want to just be one of these people who just talks about fucking problems, like actually do something. And I'm wondering if maybe, I mean, I would never be able to build a website that could give YouTube a run for its money. And if I'm not mistaken, VidMe just fucking got
I didn't even read the letter they sent. They just saw the thing and I'm like, oh, great. I started to read it and I'm like, fuck these people. They're like just jumping out already.
And were you on them by
Yeah, I was on there and it was nice. The site was nice. I don't know.
I went on earlier this year.
Everyone liked the video quality. Everyone claimed, the video quality is great. I like it.
Yeah, I signed up and everything, but it was one of those things that in the back of my mind, I was like, number one, I don't want to spread myself too thin. There's only so much time I have. And I was like, how long is this shit going to last too? I mean, this one might, and that one, I guess the other one, minds.com.
People really push Minds. I don't like it, man. I go there, it looks like a stagnant, I don't know, MySpace or something. It's like, I don't know what it is. Like, I just don't get it. Like, I look around, I try and figure it out, and I'm just like, this is boring. Like, who wants to be here? Right.
No, and yeah, but anyway, just to finish off the idea trail that I started, yeah, man, I want to continue doing YouTube. I love doing YouTube. I love this. I love meeting people like you and then doing, streams online and a lot of the people that I've met. But right now, plain and simply, I got to get real. I got to fucking start earning money again. And
that's not the place. YouTube is not the place for that anymore.
Well, and that was the thing. Of course, I was under that delusion, and I just came in way too late.
Came in late, but it was going well when I was building up. I was like, oh, this can be something. And like, I wasn't getting a lot of money from AdSense, but I would basically hit 100 every month almost. So that was decent for nothing, for a little channel, and then throw in another 100 or so on Patreon. It's cool. It's doing something. It's a little extra, right? But that's gone. I've made $60 in the last 3 months on YouTube total. So you can't even get that money until it hits $100.
Yeah, no, and
then Patreon did their thing, right? Lost a third of the Patreon money I was making just from that.
Oh,
And they didn't come back because they decided not to do it. That's it. You know, yeah, whatever. YouTube is not the place for money making anymore, unless you get a big somehow quick, and people want to give you money like Dave Rubin and shit.
Yeah, I mean, I still love doing it. One of the things that
I know I like making videos, but if you want to make money, don't bother with YouTube.
No, but the thing is, for my art, like the thing that I would love to be able to make a living from really is my art, my drawing and writing, you know.
Then you definitely got to build your skills and be able to like animate and get something going like that, maybe.
No, and of course,
because you could take it off like YouTube. If you can eventually make shit good enough, you could do better than YouTube.
Yeah, and I would like to. I think YouTube, and I'm still trying to learn how to use it as a marketing tool. That's the main thing I want to do. I want to learn how to use it as a marketing tool, but the other thing that really
you gotta sell out, man. You gotta be one of those. You gotta be the mainstream media now, or whoever they deem is good enough alternative media. Like, you know, all those crappy sites that get clicks on there. And yeah, that's about it. Who else is gonna get paid on there? Besides, they're promoting on like YouTube Rewind and all that crap.
Yeah, I mean, I'll figure it out. One thing I want to do though is I want to create art on my terms and do it my way. And granted, maybe that's my psychological blind spot. As much as I talk about the religious psychological blind spot that people have, maybe mine is that I'm so fucking delusional in that sense. But it's something worth doing, on the side when I can, and I'll see where it can go.
That's the thing. The money also like made me feel like, since I was like getting a little extra with YouTube, I felt like responsibility to put things out. Not that I didn't want to. I enjoyed doing it, but it was just it was sort of good. Like, it was like, yeah, I better get 2 videos out this week. People are giving me fucking money. I got to do something for them. And now it's like, well, I'll get to it when I get to it. I don't have fucking time, and now nothing's coming in, so whatever. Like, what's the point? Like, it's not what's the point. It's just
no, yeah, you gotta.
Like now I gotta take care of what I gotta take care of, and when I can make a video, I'll make a video. So I've been putting out like 1 a week instead of like 2 or 3. Like,
and how will you make? I'm always impressed by YouTubers that could do that could pump out 2 videos a week and stuff like that.
And yet is a couple hours. Like, all I need is to have the night to myself, and I can do it. But I choose not to have every night to myself, like, right. And do other things. But
no, yeah, and that's the other thing. It's and I never wanted. That's why I never got into YouTube years ago, because like one of the first YouTubers I ever saw was The Amazing Atheist, and I thought he was funny, and I would, whatever. If he happened to come up on like suggested views and his little titles were interesting enough, I would maybe click on them. But I never looked at The Amazing Atheist and thought, yeah, that's what I want to do. And so when I see not to knock the guy, but when I see other YouTubers, and the same thing, look, when I discovered Stefan Molyneux, and like I didn't discover him until like 2014. And again, it's not like I was like, yeah, that's what I want to do. Just fucking turn on a camera and start talking shit as though I know everything. That's not at all. But what prompted me to start my channel was, well, I had this little manic fucking week, and I always wanted to have some sort of either animation show or do something with my visual art. And then I thought I, came up with this, and especially with the fucking puppet and the little Scully talking ring. But once I started doing that, I realized, damn, this is fucking time consuming as hell. And if there's no guarantee, which there's never a guarantee, but if there's no real probability of making money off this, it's not worth it that much for me. It's one thing to have it as a hobby and stuff.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that's why I've been slowly, and then of course this year has been the year where YouTube has been just really cracking down on people. So look, why don't we talk about that, Max? That was the whole thing.
It doesn't even, they don't have any consistency to it either, because they just put someone's video in limited state. I don't know if you know who Godless Cranium is.
No.
He did a like a compilation video with all these atheist YouTubers. I was actually on it, and it got put in limited state. It can't be commented on. It can't be liked. It can't be shared unless you have the link. It won't be recommended ever on YouTube. And then other people mirrored it, and it's like safe for advertisement.
Yeah.
No fucking consistency whatsoever. It's all to make YouTube's headaches go away. They get complaints from people, and they don't want to hear it. That's what all these companies always do.
That's why
always do it. It's not about censorship ever. It's just about, like, I don't want to hear anything, so let me just appease these fucking people complaining.
Which is not a good thing either. I don't.
Not at all. It's terrible.
You know, but I'd rather.
It's like sort of worse, because at least the other way it would be your convictions. Like, this is not your convictions at all. It's just, I want to make money. I don't want to have any problems.
No, well, for me, the way I see it, I'm glad it's more that, and it's more money driven than it is like a bunch of, and I hate using like SJWs because that just seems like such a, it's not specific enough, I think. But I would hate to think that there are people from, let's say, Black Lives Matter and Antifa and stuff like. I don't think by all means necessary it would be able to be there. But people who have these agendas that manage to get onto these diversity boards of these companies, the Arianna Huffingtons also, because I know Arianna Huffington is like on Uber's board of directors and shit like that. So, and that's the thing, there does need to be some balance, because some of these people are fucking douchebags. I don't doubt that many of the power players behind Uber are probably fucking assholes. But I think it's a matter of trying to find that right balance. And I was afraid that on YouTube, like I was noticing that, like that CEO, I don't know her name, but the young female CEO of YouTube, when I was watching her, doing interviews with Cenk Uygur, I was like, oh my God. So these people.
Cenk totally YouTube certified now, man. They get ads on everything. They're right up YouTube's alley now.
Ugh.
It's so crazy because I don't understand how anyone can like them.
I don't know how people not. And here's the other thing. I've been thinking, like,
if anyone's watched a fucking AIU video, it's over. You can't fucking not see it. You can't unsee that shit. Like,
no, for me, like I said, from the first time ever I saw that guy's fat fucking face, dude.
People caught on to their nonsense without that, but it's still like, it's crazy.
Yeah. For me, it's just mainly that smug attitude, and the same thing with Anna Kasparian. I mean, you could spot these people very quickly. It's in their smugness and their sense of superiority. Which, and by the way, you see this also on the Red Pill side. Which, by the way, that video you did on Coach Red Pill, that guy kind of has that too. Yet, I think I like his videos. I mean, a few, the 2 or 3 that I've seen. But that one that you did on him about that atheists are stupid.
Well, he's doing the style for YouTube, so
he's what?
He's trying to create his own little style for his videos. So
no, and good for him. I like that. I like to see some creativity.
I don't, not that it's not genuine, but it's a little showmanship going on there,
I got to read this little comment out. Somebody here typed out, AIU is a fucking scumbag, but his Young Turk videos are much needed. That's funny.
People are crazy. Devin's great.
No, he is. I would love to do a live stream with that guy.
I mean, I get it but it's not. I don't get.
I lost you there.
I don't get how people could not like the dude. He's fucking hysterical.
I think he's a brilliant commentator.
It's just people just hate that they get blocked, bro. Like they really hate that shit.
Oh, I didn't know that. For me, every once in a while, I'll see someone.
Good.
Whoa, your audio went no.
Oh, really? Hold on a second. Is it mine or is it yours? Because yours is also dropping out a little bit. God, I hope it's not that I'm losing the connection now.
You just increased like 20 billion decibels.
All right, okay, so I put the computer closer to me.
Or something, bro. It's awful. Like you can't even understand you.
Oh, really? Because
Yours is like
there you go. There you go.
Let's see if it stays there. Let me not move. No, there's been a couple things that Devin has said. Well, first of all, his stance on guns, I completely disagree with. But I can see also, I guess sometimes he just
like people I think just hate him because he blocks them and he doesn't care. He doesn't care. Like he doesn't need to interact with anyone in particular, and I think they don't like that.
Yeah, for me, that's not it. But I could see why people. I don't know. You know what? To tell you the truth, then, if by any chance he's hearing this, dude, stop wasting your time with fucking Steve Shives and all these other bullshit, dude. Because he is a very talented commentator and video, I guess, video editor.
It's not a waste of time, I don't think.
Well, if he's making money from it, if he's found that niche.
Steve Shives gets to do things because of his fucking views, and he's wrong. So like he's gonna be in a conference next month, next year, and he doesn't need to be speaking out loud in public, and he needs to be combated because fucking he's the type of person that we all hate.
But how consequential is somebody like Steve Shives as opposed to, let's say, Rachel Maddow from MSNBC or NPR? Like NPR is starting to become like TYT.
I don't know. It's something with your connection. It just popped in. It's crazy. Like it just becomes like so staticky and loud.
Oh damn! Okay, how about now?
No, it's gone. But I don't know if it's something with your connection or.
It might be. It might be the connection. And I see this with other people. Like whenever I've been on Ogre's channel, it happens to him. And but no, just let me know, and I'll just repeat what I was saying. Like one of the ones that I'm starting to, and that's the thing. Like I really debate is.
I guess, but I don't know, man.
I mean, he knows his audience. He knows his Patreon.
It's the same type of person.
But she's got one hell of a platform. Like, who the fuck knows Steve Shives?
Like, Devin's working on YouTube, so Steve Shives is
right. I guess
equivalent again. Like he's like, you know what I mean?
No. But I would think
it's like what he'd have to get on something like CNN to get that.
No, and I'm saying make videos about that as opposed to making videos about Steve Shives. I totally get the ones on TYT. Definitely keep that going, I guess. Look, I can't make videos about TYT because those people make me so fucking sick that I can't spend more than 5 minutes listening to
them. If a TYT video is more than 6 minutes, I won't do it. I have that rule in my head already. That's why I don't do a couple here and there.
And I would love to learn how to stop that too. I would love to learn how to not get so. Which I said, you actually said that the other day in one of your videos. You don't argue from an emotional standpoint, but you get emotional when you argue, and I think that's very true. And I'm trying to. I try not to, but I think I must have.
It's always that's all in how the other person is interacting with you during the argument. If they're being a smug cunt, I'm going to get fucking loud like this. Like, if they're being cool, it's going to be calm and it's not going to matter. Like,
right.
What I mean? There's not going to be any emotions if it's okay. If people are fucking straw manning you, if they're not listening to what your argument is and they say, oh, but this, and that has nothing to do with what you said. Like, it's annoying. It's frustrating when people do that.
Oh, no, I'm sure I'd be able to calm myself down if I were debating or discussing. So I don't really care to debate, but discussing with other people, and I've learned how to do that. I've learned how to relax. It's just like, let's say me watching one of those videos. I privately I'll see something, and of course I only know about TYT through AIU. We're gonna keep it in little fucking
I knew
acronyms.
for him, and I started getting annoyed with them, and then all of a sudden I found his videos, and I'm like, oh, even more reasons to get annoyed with them. I'm like, great. I'm like, fuck these. Like I was saying, fuck these guys, like right before I started watching his videos, actually. And then all because like I was on Facebook and like I was following them, and then all of a sudden they were starting to piss me off beyond belief. Like, and then like I seen Devin's videos, and I'm like, oh, this is all the reasons why they're pissing me off. Like, I understand it all now.
Right. Hey, keep on talking. I'm gonna step away for a second, but just keep on talking. I have to go get my cat fucking trying to get inside the house. So keep on talking, and I'm still listening to you. So go ahead.
Yeah, no, I just I was starting to get annoyed by the things on their site, like all the anti-cop shit or all the protecting of the blacks thing, and I was like, this is getting annoying because like, yeah, these people are fucking reaching for their guns, and they're like, why did they get shot? You don't have to shoot them. And I'm like, what are you talking about? They're fucking trying to kill a cop. Of course they're gonna get shot. Like, so TYT, like they exposed themselves, because when I first started watching them, they weren't too bad, but then it was just like, ugh, awful. Who's here? Only 5 people watching. That's fucked up because I tweeted it out also. So
no, and I wish there was a way to measure how consequential they are. And,
well, now they're totally like, what I mean by YouTube certified is they're monetized. They can say whatever they want. They could talk terrorism. It doesn't matter. They got the YouTube seal of approval. They can't.
No, yeah. No, but what I mean by that is like, I wonder, are there any policies that have been passed that have got TYT written all over them? Like, in other words, that they really did? Because I think it was
they've influenced crazy like.
Right. That's what I would love to know. I'd love to trace those.
That's right. You said you wanted to make like something and figure it out, an algorithm or something.
Oh no, that's the thing. Like that's why I want to start learning the coding, because I think you could do a hell of a lot more with that. I mean, some of these apps, some of these websites can really fucking make some changes. And I'm also wondering to what degree is it best to just be as anonymous as possible and just fucking be behind the scenes, you know? But of course, I'm talking about like, trying to change things for the better, because like, for example, what TYT is to AIU, I'm starting to look at NPR, like National Public Radio.
NPR God. Old already, like, no, people.
I know.
For a while, like.
But man, what they they never want to address the root causes of the problems, and they put out, look, like they put out this story this a little while ago, and I wonder if I got blocked by them after they put out this story. I have to pull out the file, but basically, more black mothers die from childbirth, and racism is the cause. Yeah. And I was like, what? What? And like, without even reading the article, I was like, this has got to be bullshit. This has got to be. And of course, I at least that's where I get reacted.
They have more babies. They're fatter. Like, all these reasons, I'm sure, go into it. And I'm not even a medical person at all, so I'm sure there's even more.
Oh my God! And
but
well, needless to say, I finally did read the article. Of course, I should have probably read the article before tweeting it out, but I would have had the same conclusion, which I did come to the same conclusion, because they're so predictable. And of course, when I tweeted this out, I got quite a few responses from people being like, hey, well, why won't you believe it? And I was like, well, because look at what happened during the 2016 election year, and how when you blame every single thing on racism, you start to cover up the real root causes. And not only are you covering up the real root causes, now you are inflaming people with the wrong causes and causing even more division, more violence,
and the people
more deaths on the street.
Who are racist and hateful start to speak out more than they used to. They used to just keep quiet to themselves, and now they speak out and get stupid and loud.
And it was interesting to see how many people that were like, oh my God, and quickly, after I rebutted them as respectfully and as politely as I could, there was no more rebuts from them. There was no more. And all they kept saying was, well, look at the statistics, look at the statistics. And here's what I have not looked. All the causes, because at least the article was honest enough to mention that. They mentioned the hypertension. They mentioned all those things that you would, the obesity and all that. But even that they blame on racism. Even that.
Because they can't afford this and it's all white people's fault. I know.
And so then, but here's a really quick, simple way to do it. And now that would take me time. And that's what I'm like, do I really want to choose this battle? All you have to do is look at the mothers dying from childbirth in Africa. If the statistics are the same and the causes are the same, there you go. Like, unless there's like racism in Africa of blacks against blacks, maybe in South Africa. And that's the real fucking cause. And then that's the real problem that I see. It's like the way NPR they do the same shit. And then this weekend I was watching some other documentary that was by NPR and Frontline. And I think I still have it up. It's called Poverty in America. You just watch Poverty in America for anybody who wants to see it. Here, let me see if I'm going to actually put this in the chat on the side. And it's with NPR. And of course, ultimately, what they're really trying to expose is all the developers, because it's about low-income housing and the need for low-income housing, and how there are developers that end up, overinflating the cost of the projects by millions of dollars, which is wrong. Okay, and then they actually get down to it, like here in Miami, which, yeah, like here in Miami, there's a lot of fucking shenanigans on the local politic level that most people are not even aware of. And that's why your property your property taxes end up being like $5,000 a year for a lot of people. And that's where I'm guilty of it myself. Everybody's distracted by the national politics. Everybody's distracted by, well, look at Trump. And yet locally, that's where you're getting really fucked. Now, that's where you feel it. You feel it in the property taxes. You feel it in the unemployment rate because of everybody that they're fucking pushing in and people who are on Section 8. And when you start to get to know the real stories of the people on Section 8, you're like, okay. And that's when you start to, and that NPR will never fucking cover it. Anyway, bottom line is,
if they cover it, they'll cover it like you said, like Huffington Post or something.
No, well, here
gentrification so bad.
Right. And then here,
our community let us do it. Meanwhile, it's been shit for 25 years. Your community, like, you know what I mean? Like in New York City, all these neighborhoods were shit for fucking 30 years, and white people came in and fixed it up, and they're pissed off now because the money went up, the rent went up, everything.
No, yeah, that's
like it's our community. Let us take care of what the fuck has been going on for 30 years. Like,
well, of course,
it wasn't even. It's not like the government. Just white people came in and bought shit.
Yeah, and for me, I don't even like to look at it as white people, and that's not.
I know what you mean. No, I know, but that's what it becomes. Like, that's what this argument all becomes when we start talking about gentrification and shit like that, and people are protesting and fucking all that shit.
Yeah. And well, they get into the documentary about all the developers that are scamming the county, by millions of dollars. And look, here's where I'll throw my quote unquote people under the bus, the Hispanics. Okay, like that one, no one's gonna fucking, why you anti-Hispanic? Porque yo soy hispano, cojones. Hablo lo que me da la gana y lo que me sale del culo.
It's really Puerto Ricans, man.
It's all of them. But no, look, Cubans, to be specific, Cubans are on both ends of the problem. You got the fucking rich Cubans that are fucking shit up for other Cubans. And that's a funny thing that I've heard from my own relatives. Never work for a Cuban. My own Cuban relatives will say, don't work for Cubans.
And yeah, I can agree with that.
And then you get it on the poverty side too. You get it on the poverty side too. And I'm already seeing this. And don't worry, for people who know me, I'm not throwing anyone on the bus, but I'm starting to see the pattern of the single mother onto the fourth kid with 3 different guys. Okay, that pattern is what needs to be called out. And in this documentary of NPR, of course, they focus on the rich white guys because, and let me tell you, but that is a problem when a developer scams the county for $4 million. Damn, wow, that's Yeah, $4 million is nothing to sneeze at. But they also show, at one point, at least they did show this one single mother with 7 kids living out of a car. Now, when they show her, of course, they show her to tug at your heartstrings. But not once does the journalist ask her, I'm sorry, 7 children? Where's the father or fathers of these children? Why are you know what I'm saying? Like, they don't want to tackle that.
That's like why they get the money, though, because they have so little, they have all these kids. You know what I mean?
And that racks up to more than $4 million over the lifetime. A single mother with 7 children, over the lifetime of Section 8, of food stamps, of Medicaid, of all that. Oh, we're talking more than $4 million, dude. I'm sure you could add that up. It's going to be more than $4 million. And they don't, and that's what bothers me. Like, tackle the root cause. Tackle that. I'm all for, hey, dude, you want to bring down fucking corrupt, rich white men that are fucking over the middle class, and then that's ultimately who gets fucked over. It's the middle class. Because in that documentary, they have another scene where they're interviewing this one white woman, and of course they try to paint her out to be a fucking demon, and they probably picked out a woman who they knew would just fucking dig her own grave with what she's saying. And she did not, I guess, I don't know if she was like the homeowner association president or whatever of her neighborhood. She was opposing more low-income housing to be built in her neighborhood. And of course, they try to make it seem like she's doing it over just race, and it's about racism, and the woman doesn't do a very good job. I wish they would have interviewed me, because I would have been like, what happens with a lot of these low-income projects that you guys are going to bring in? You're bringing in people who are going to increase the crime rate, okay? And I know it from living in a fucking neighborhood where my house has been broken into 4 fucking times. Don't even try to fucking play me the bleeding heart virtue signaling bullshit that is going to cause this. Like, you're not going to fucking make me feel guilty for wanting to protect what I fucking worked really fucking hard to get and to just hold on to. It's not even like, oh my God, I'm building an empire. I'm just trying to fucking hold on to what I got. Yeah. And these fuckers, man, they want to push this shit onto people. And that's what fucking, and of course, NPR never wants to fucking deal with that. They never want to talk about that root cause.
Are people still listening to radio, man?
I'm sorry?
Are people still listening to radio?
Enough people do, because I at least people who I know, a lot of people cite NPR and look, I'm definitely not throwing my wife under the bus at all. But my wife, she's into, and I think it's honestly a female thing.
They love happy thoughts. They love happy.
No, they're a lot more empathetic. No, but I was going to say,
Magog is here.
Is he?
Hello, Magog.
Very unpleasant to meet you, troll. Let the shit posting begin. And so, how do you call it? What was I gonna say? No. The thing with my wife is, like, whenever, because she's into modern dance, that's her hobby, that's her thing. And so when I start tapping into that world, and there's Davey and whatever, dude, that's where I got to be careful when you start bringing in the personal stuff. But that's when you start to see that, and you start to see the real bleeding heart. And then a lot of those people within that community, of course, NPR is where they get a lot of their information from, and they live and die by it. And then when I bring these things up, it's like, well, why are you blaming the poor? Or, of course, why are you victim blaming? It's not that I'm fucking victim blaming. This is not about it, dude. It's a matter of, bro, at one point or another, man, how do you encourage some fucking self-responsibility, man? I mean, seriously. And then
isn't like there's less crime among Hispanics?
I think Magog does Magog want to come in? Should I fucking let him? No. Got 3 people. Fuck it. Let's let him in.
You don't have to be in character.
I'm also gonna let. But let's look. I want to put this out there for you guys listening. Let's please not try to talk over each other, because I kind of want to just keep it to catching up with Billy Bong and just catching up with you, and especially your strike thing that's keeping you from streaming.
Oh, I can't stream. Yeah, no, I got a strike. I mean, apparently they would have reversed it if I didn't tell people to tell whoever in the video I was talking about to go to their channel and tell them how you feel. Because apparently you can't do that on YouTube. Oh, you threw that shit in the air. You're crazy.
Yeah, fuck it, dude. It's only 3 guys watching it.
Well, someone always comes in that is wacky and screws it all up.
We'll see. And if they do, I got to start learning how to fucking manage these things, and I got to learn.
Like,
look, I myself
on Twitter or something. You send it in a DM to someone.
Oh no, granted, but
you sent them the wrong thing. You sent them the YouTube link.
Oh, did I? All right, so here, let me do this, dude. All right, Magago, if you're still listening, I'm gonna private DM you this thing, dude. It just becomes way too many people then coming in.
Even though 3 people watching.
Yeah, that's true. That's why I figured, obvious. Because I don't know if you.
Quite upset with my followers. I tweeted it out so they can all go fuck themselves. No, like.
And I never feel right saying my followers or my viewers. It's just people
they follow me. They're my followers, right? I don't give a like.
Yeah, I'm getting stupid.
That's what it is on Twitter. Following someone, right?
Yeah.
I follow whoever. I'm part of whoever's followers. I'm part of your followers.
Let's get Magago and go to one of my own private messages. All right, Magog, I'm sending to you through DM. All right.
Do what I say. I own you. I do own you, whatever your name is, with no vowels in the chat.
And so,
but yeah, I don't know. I got a strike, yeah, and so you can't go comment. If I tell you to go comment on someone's video, my video can come down, but you can randomly just go comment on someone's video and tell them to suck your dick, and you don't get kicked off of YouTube or anything like that. So it's kind of odd. It's like a weird. See, it's just an inconsistency. It's more inconsistency with this flagging shit and taking down videos and privating videos and all that shit.
Right.
And it sucks because it just hurts people who like doing YouTube.
Right.
Like not everyone's here for the money, and they're just like, fuck you.
Well, I'm not going to even read the last thing that this one guy put out there. Now, whatever, I'm not going to comment it. It's just, oh, no, we got, that's the thing. That's why I've always had a trouble with doing these live streams. Like, I want to invite everybody in, but once you invite everybody in, it becomes a clusterfuck of people talking over each other.
I like to keep it under 5 or 5-ish at the most. 3 is usually a good one. 3 people, decent to have. I probably only got like 20 more minutes left here, but
yeah,
still.
No, maybe once you get off, I'll invite other people on and stuff, because that's the other thing. It does become, it just becomes a bit much having that many fucking people on, and
it goes all over the place. Like, there's no structure to it then.
And so
there's always someone who talks too much, and somehow they say everything every minute, and you're like, there's 10 people here, but you're the only one fucking talking. What's going on here?
Yeah.
Why isn't anyone calling this out right now? We got to take control of this.
Well, the main thing that I want to talk with you about was that the fact that you got the ban on the live streams and stuff like that. Have you ever had a personal conversation with somebody that works at YouTube?
Well, I got this trusted flagger guy. Like, I tried to contact him. He sent me to someone else because he's like, I have all these videos on my hand now, so I'm going to give you over to this guy. And he reviewed it, and he's like, no, I can't take away the strike. I'm like, oh, that's great.
Hey, everybody. It's failure here.
What up, failure? The Cubans in the house.
There's so many Cubans in this.
The Cuban wizard's on. How you been, man?
What's up, guys?
What's going on? Is it like wintry by you?
A little bit chilly. I'm in the south though, so it's not. To us, it's like 40.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
No, because I remember you telling some story once about when it snowed in over there.
Oh no, we get ice storms here that get pretty bad, but they usually don't happen until the coldest months are January and February here.
Morskar is cold, huh?
Yeah. Very fucking cold. Billy, long time, brother.
Yeah.
Nachi, my man.
How you been, Magago?
You know.
How are things? How are things with you, man? Because I haven't been catching up with your videos or your live streams and stuff like that. Are you having that same problem with YouTube? I mean, you're a big YouTuber, so
Yeah, I'm still getting demonetized, and it's hard to grow for everybody right now organically.
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't been doing too bad. I had to take a small break for finals. The end of my school semester was just a shit hammer, you know? And so the content kind of slowed down. Then some personal things happened with Beard Barian and Vamp, so we couldn't do side quest. So pretty much live streams are put on hold until after the holidays. And I finally got out of school and just started catching up on content. Luckily, to catch up, I was able to finagle a collaboration with Baron and put that up. And he put it up on his channel, so I've gotten a pretty decent boost.
Yeah, that'll do it.
So I'm at like 21,000 subs now because of that boost. So I owe Bearing a hand job.
I have a story like that. Baring did promote me in one of his videos, but it was somehow a video that everyone disagreed with, even with Baring, even though Baring agreed with me. So my boost was minimal. I was like, this is so fucking funny. Like his video has so many downvotes, and I'm like, that's fucking crazy.
Oh, that sucks.
What are you gonna do, man? I don't care.
Yeah, I picked a safe topic with Baring. We picked Kathy Griffin.
It wasn't like he just like was like, oh Billy, I fucking loved your video. Can I fucking use it in part of mine? And I'm like, yeah, sure. It became this whole fucking stupid thing. It was great though. Pissing off.
I'd hate to sound like the greedy capitalist here, but do you guys know of anybody within our? I don't know if I'm a shitlord or I'm not into communities. Okay? I've learned that.
Everybody in this community says that. So well, just stop it and just say you're part of this community. I'm getting tired of that.
It's a community. Like think of it like a circle, but in the circle, there's all these other circles causing these Venn diagrams. And
yeah, and I'm one of those really weird squares among all the circles.
Do you guys know of anyone who's making a living that was able to quit their fucking job and they're still going for it? They're still at that point where they're making at least $3,000 a month or some shit like that from YouTube?
Sorry, I missed that. I had to.
There's a couple of people out there.
My bad. I had to yank my headphones off for a second.
No, I'm saying that within this shitlord skeptic community. Do you know of anybody who's making, and don't worry, you don't even have to mention who they are, but are there any YouTubers making over $3,000 a month?
Yeah, sure.
Jesus Christ, yeah. But they've all been doing it since probably Beast Gamergate.
Right. Yeah. Because I've been asking.
When it comes to me, I make just enough to kind of offset not having to work as long as I'm in school because I get paid to go to school from the GI Bill.
Right.
But once
by the way, I think you fucking this up.
I'm going to get fucked. Sorry?
Yeah.
No, I was going to say because before Billy and I were talking about that, about fucking all the quote-unquote government handouts and stuff, but veterans, man, that's a different story, dude. You're literally fighting for this fucking country, dude. So...
You gotta you gotta have a good Patreon to do that now. Like YouTube's not. Yeah.
YouTube doesn't pay. Billy knows
if you got a lot of subscribers, YouTube may give you something. But right now, where I'm at, the views, that's done for me until I grow more.
Right.
Like it was doing okay. It wasn't like it was giving me reason to like hope to grow quicker. And now, but unless you like have like 50,000 subscribers, the views aren't going to do much.
Not with ad play, But if you live stream and you have more subscribers do equate to more viewers, more potential viewers anyway, if they get the alerts or they feel like watching. So the more subscribers you have, the more money you could potentially make from super chat donations and things like that when you live stream. And then there's like Streamlabs, there's merchandise. The more subscribers and fans you have, the more you sell merchandise.
Yeah.
But the just living off of YouTube ad money so you don't have to do anything else, those days are long gone.
Unless you got a decent amount.
Not even that. Even like somebody like Sargon, who has almost 1 million subscribers and probably gets enough views, even if one of his videos gets monetized and isn't demonetized and it plays ads, which there have been a few. I've clicked on This Week's in Stupid and it's played an ad. Even with that, he might only make $50-$60 where he used to make probably like $300-$400 a video depending on the views.
Yeah.
So anyway, didn't mean to hijack that little bit of the conversation.
No, it's true. That's why Patreon's the only way you could do it now. If you got a good Patreon and the super chats and shit like that.
Right. Yeah.
So
what about you? What about you guys? Like, how's y'all's growth been lately?
Dude, I can't get past.
Slow but continuous. But Nachi, I don't know why they haven't. It's stopped for you. I don't know what the fuck happened. Well, it was like 9:49 or something, and then you made that video against Trump or something, and it went down like 9 people, and it's just stayed there. I don't get it.
You know what I found? You guys can take this advice if you want or not, but this is some free advice from somebody who, I guess, is kind of making it a little bit. Dress up, just be a pretty princess for the people.
Oh, that's the thing. Yeah, I could easily manufacture a money maker probably, but it's not me, so I just won't do it.
No, that was actually a joke.
Nice to everyone. I could fucking that shit.
I think that was just
camera.
You want to know what I found? In order to do political and social stuff and not just straight comedy or just do some BS stream where you're just talking with people all the time and it gets all chaotic because you have like 10 people in there. I think the best way to do is to talk politically and socially, but don't go too far.
Yeah.
Right.
You have to find that sweet spot in politics and social issues where you say the funny thing to make a little bit of a point, but if you directly go after Trump because of all his hardcore fans, you'll lose half your audience.
No, look, I want to give a shout out to obvious internet troll is obviously shit posting, and I really like this guy, but he's taking it personal that I didn't mention before on some of the comments. And what you're mentioning right now is a perfect example. At one point, he was like, well, why don't you mention me with this comment that he made? He says, no, it's really black people's fault that they're poor, and you can mention me with that. It's not racist, it's true, and I will defend with the facts. And that's the problem, though. I mean, granted, there is a problem with a high level of crime, but the way you go about it, and by the way, I think that's what happens with AIU. It's one thing to try to push the envelope, but you have to realize when you push that envelope and when you try to be too, it's not so much about being too direct, because I think you need to be as honest as possible. But there's a way to bring this up where it's, I don't know, where you're not fucking turning everybody off and making yourself look like a racist when you're not. You know what I mean? And there's got to be a way, and that's what I was talking about with the Poverty in America documentary and stuff like that. And it's true, and that's what happens to a lot of these people. I mean, I think what AIU is doing is great. However, I think he pushes the envelope so hard that it's no.
I don't even think he does the great shit. I think it's so everything. It's I understand where he's coming from with that shit because I've seen it my whole life. I know exactly everything he says. I totally fucking agree with the race. It's crazy.
And then obviously saying, if you think it's racism to speak the truth, Nachi, then you're contributing to it. No, man, that's not the fucking point that I'm trying to make.
I know what you're trying to say. Some people go overboard. I don't think Devin does, though. I think Devin explains it perfectly when he fucking says something about it. So
No, but he did one video, for example, on on IQs and like white people with the, and I can see where people are. You're basically giving fodder to the Black Lives Matter activists at that point.
But why? He's just saying these are the results of the tests. He literally says these are the results of the tests. These are not. This is not fabrications. This is the fucking test scores.
I get it, dude. I get it. But there does, and that's where it does suck to have to be diplomatic, I guess, or where you have to choose your words and stuff like that. And because look, another thing I'm discovering really quick, and I'm sorry I'm talking, it sounds like I'm talking over you. There is definitely like that scientific equation. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. I think that definitely comes down to even words, man, and ideas. And when you push some of these, you know, when you really come down that hard, like, look, today I wanted to tweet out, are dumb, low IQ people having more children than they can afford to raise with multiple partners at a young age? Is that the root cause of the world's problems? It pretty much is. And there's someone I know that works a low-end job. I'm not going to fucking definitely not mention this person. There's someone I know, and the stories that I hear of the single mothers that this person works alongside of for barely minimum wage, these are women who are on to their third fucking kid, okay, still single and working a shit job, and they're not even 23 years old.
It's all their bad decision making.
Granted, but how do you express that to the public without turning people off? In the end, it doesn't matter to me if people are going to think I'm a racist, but it's how do we address that issue? And for me, that is something I would love to fucking solve once and for all, because I think that is at the root cause of all of the world's problems. And dude, you don't even have to fucking stay here in the United States. Go to India. Go fucking see any documentaries on India. And I'm planning to travel to India next year. Dude, it's right there. It's this fucking proliferation of children that you don't know what the fuck to do with.
It's so simple and no one does it. Birth control. That's all it is, man. I'm sorry. Your dick will feel a little less wet. Wear a fucking condom.
And plus, I don't understand why people would want to complicate their lives. But I get it. What Magog is saying is like, if you just stick to these issues, no one's going to fucking watch the channel because nobody wants to fucking hear that either, I guess.
Well, you also have to understand, too, that you also can't take away people's rights to be assholes. And that's where, like, a lot of it kind of like, I'd love to solve that problem, too, but how do you without forcing people to live life your way?
Yeah.
And that starts on people.
I think the thing is, go ahead. Have the 7 children, but know that it's your fucking responsibility, not society's.
Sure. I mean, I'd love to at least stop the, like, blaming other people for your fucking problems type of mentality. You know, I'd love to at least stop that. I think that's a big part of the world's problem, too. You know, it's people coming out going, oh, my life is shit, and it's because of that guy over there, because he's successful. You don't know his life story. Just because he's some CEO of a company and you think it's big, evil white man smoking a cigar behind the desk, controlling everything. I'm sure there are people like that, sure.
Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos with Amazon.
Right, you know, but you know, I have in my circle of, you know, of acquaintances, quite a few very successful people who are way richer than me, but they built what they have from the ground.
For sure.
I actually meant Magog of Morskar. A white guy sitting behind a desk.
And then, by the way,
looking to rule your world.
And Jeff Bezos is somebody who did build and did work really hard. And by the way, he fucking grew up here in Miami, and his stepfather is a Cuban exile. So there's something to be said about that Cuban work ethic that I was talking about before. You know, it definitely fucking showed in him. His stepfather, not his biological father. And from this documentary that I saw just yesterday, I think, on him, or the day before, his own real biological father didn't even know who he was. His own biological father did not realize that, you know, his son is now one of the richest men in the world. So that's interesting. It's interesting that the role of a father.
If I was that guy, I would have been like, God, it was just that one out of the billions of sperm. Just was shaped like a money symbol, and it must have just got through.
Just like Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs, same story, dude. Steve Jobs, same story, man.
Yeah, but Steve Jobs, what's crazy about Steve Jobs is he actually wasn't even like, he was he was just creatively intelligent and business savvy. He had nothing to do with the actual like design of the products, of the actual like technology, like that was Woz, man. Like that dude was like the guy building the fucking computers. Like that Jobs just knew how to sell shit.
Right.
Like he just knew how to tap into that kind of like what the public would want. And that's what he was a guru at that.
Was he even that good at it though? Because didn't he fail his first time around? Like,
no. Apple, the first Apple computer was actually quite successful. It was the Apple II that was an ultimate failure.
I mean, Apple was known and shit, but it was just the IBM and all that other shit was.
Well, yeah, they had to partner with a company that could mass produce the microchips. There was just no other way to do it. But the first Apple computer was incredibly successful. The Apple II was an utter failure because it was too ambitious for its time. As far as like, I want like 1,000 fonts on this thing for writers to be able to do all kinds of, funny letters and stuff. And the technology wasn't where Jobs, wanted Apple to be. He wanted to build pretty things that appealed to the consumer. And it just didn't work out. They ran him out of the company. And then after they ran him out of the company, they pretty much was begging him to come back by the 90s.
Oh, yeah, I don't know any of that shit. Yeah. Right.
Because in the late 80s, when they ran him out, his board of directors took over and they started running that company in the ground because they didn't have the kind of creative vision that he had. Yeah. When they begged him to come back and he came back, he created all kinds of new products that really did launch, because finally the technology had caught up with his vision of what he wanted Apple to be. And because the technology was there when he came back, he was able to really package it and sell it to the consumer. And that was the big, single Apple computers that had the color, that you could get them in colors.
That's when you saw back in.
Yeah. And then the first like iPod came out. Holy shit, that was a massive success. You could put 500 songs on this thing, Yeah. I mean, he just was able to do that. He'd come out on stage wearing that fucking turtleneck, single spotlight on him. And he'd be like, hey, everybody, I want to show you something really amazing today. He was like he was like the fucking Bob Ross of technology. He just had that sweet voice and this really creative vision for the future. And people were really attracted to that,
Yeah, I know. And I think it is amazing. By the way, a lot of that, did you get it from reading that book? I think the author is Walter Isaacson, that he wrote about that book on Steve Jobs. Because it's one thing, definitely don't go by the fucking movie with this actor Ashton Kutcher. Right? Of course, movies can't get into all the nitty gritty details.
No, I did watch the movies. There were actually multiple movies about Steve Jobs. But I also watched kind of a more documentary because I don't have time to read books. I'm in school. I've got enough books. I've got enough papers to write, so a lot of times I actually just catch like a lot of the documentaries and stuff, but most of the documentaries are based on the books.
Right. But they leave, and it's understandable. They can't include everything. What I thought was amazing was his Next computers. Like there was a little phase that he started this other company called Next, if I'm not mistaken. And wow, it was amazing how his vision failed him there, dude. Because that fucking company was just run to the goddamn ground.
Yeah, but that is the downside to a creative mind. You know how many times I've failed before this one fucking idea? Like look at Sam Walton. Sam Walton's first store failed utterly. He filed bankruptcy. Right. But then what did he do? He turned around and he created another big box store, and he got better distribution deals. And he called it Walmart.
Yeah, he learned from the mistakes.
Instead of Wally World, he called it Walmart. And his second rendition, holy shit. Walmart is now the world's literally the world's largest distributor.
Right, more so than Amazon. I thought Amazon was already finally the top one, but at least according to this documentary, the last one I saw.
No, Walmart's number one and probably will be for a very long time.
Online, Amazon
run them out, but where Walmart actually makes its money is distributing for other stores. Believe it or not, they own fucking planes.
They're crazy.
And if you have any Puerto Rican friends, I think it's
the story. It says the OS 10 was a direct result from Next. Oh, that's no, you learn from the failures and stuff. But coming back to evil, why these people are seen as evil and stuff. Like when I was going again, I'm not an expert on fucking Jeff Bezos from just watching one or two documentaries on the guy or Steve Jobs, but I wouldn't say these people are evil, but they're fucking ruthless. And some of their practices, like what Amazon does with, for example, let me see how I can explain it. I think it's called poaching, where, for example, they'll start selling your product. Let's say, Magog, you've got little wands, magic wands, and they're fucking a bestseller, dude. And you're now in with you're producing these wands, and you're in a distributor deal with Amazon. And Amazon's like, oh, wait a second, where's Magog getting those fucking wands from? Oh, he's getting it from fucking China. I'm going to fucking directly contact that supplier and I'm going to undercut him. And then you're fucked. Mm-hmm. You're fucked because now you got used to like this like the way they described it, a fire hose of customers. Now you've ordered all this fucking inventory that you think is going to sell in 2 or 3 days, but now Amazon has fucking undercut you with your own supplier and selling it on almost half the fucking price.
Yeah, but you've hit on something that's literally been a part of business since commercialism began in America after the Industrial Revolution. There's always going to be the cheap knockoffs. You ever been to the Family Dollar? You ever been to Dollar Store? You're like, is that really is that actually a WWE sponsored toy? Because the writing looks a little funny.
Right. Well, counterfeit goods. That's illegal. It's illegal with the counterfeit goods. That much I do know.
Yeah, but it has to be displayed in a way that like it is obviously a cheap knockoff, but it's not necessarily counterfeit, as long as they're not using your direct copyright.
And I think there's even laws. For that, but the amount of it's going to cost you in fucking court fees and legal fees to argue that point, because you have had that things that are not exactly counterfeit, but it's a misleading thing. And that's where it's now I'm probably advocating for a fucking utopia. Like, is there any way, just like I'm saying, look, is there any way we can convince all the poor, uneducated people, let's not even say low IQ, but poor, uneducated people, hey, please stop having kids at the age of fucking 17, and by the time you're 24, you have 7. Aside from that, can we also convince the fucking Jeff Bezoses and the Steve Jobs stop being such fucking ruthless, greedy assholes too? Any way to fucking find that balance, that medium between these two extremes, because it's the middle class that gets fucked over always.
Well, it depends on how you're defining it in the statistics too, because statistically, it is the wealthy and the upper middle class as well as the high class. The 1 to 5% that pay more in taxes and donate more to charities and shit. Like millions and millions of dollars. And the wealthy, and the wealthy business owners, and when I mean wealthy, I mean also middle class business owners, pretty much businesses that make $1 million plus a year, pay 40% of our nation's taxes. 40%.
No. Granted, there's that too, but
what more are we gonna do? Like, yeah, they're greedy and they make a lot of money, but they also pay a lot of money. Like, we don't want to become France and tax the super rich and the business owners and the upper middle class business owners so much that they just leave the country. Then what? We're screwed. Because that tax burden then falls on the even poorer people. That's why France sucks right now. They implemented a tax where the wealthy business owners and stuff had to pay 80% taxes.
Really? That high?
And they just moved over to Germany. They were like, fuck you. They took their businesses and moved to Germany.
Fuck
that country bad.
Yeah. No, that's why I wonder to what degree it's a matter of just educating the middle class and especially the lower class people, man, to, number one, don't fucking have kids you can't afford to raise. Don't complicate your life. It's ultimately what it is. Don't complicate your fucking life before you.
Sure, I've known quite a few people that probably had
a good chance in life to becoming a small business owner, or even becoming wealthy, or becoming a good, like a famous football player, or anything like that. But because they knock their girlfriend up, like having a family does kind of get in the way of the economic pursuits of most families,
sure. Sure.
But at the same time, having kids too young is kind of like, I mean, in our country, it's even the poor compared to other countries, poverty levels. Your kids have a better chance of doing way better than you did.
Yeah.
Every generation is getting slightly better economically, maybe not intellectually, but definitely economically. And I can speak to that personally too. My father worked his ass to the bone and was in the military to give us a good life, and we never wanted for anything. Now I've inherited a world that is way more technologically advanced and a little bit more easier to navigate economically than he ever did. And I think it's not just about what you do because of your personal decisions, having kids too young or whatever. It's also creating a country, an economically powerful country, that your kids and future generations have it better than you did.
No,
and that is
sure.
That is objectively true. My grandfather fought in World War II and worked in the coal mines of West Virginia. I don't have to do that.
Yeah.
Because of what that generation did, and then the generation after that.
Guys, by the way, man, if I would love, hey, Magog, one of these days, I would love to have a stream with just you and talk about that, man, about foreign policy and the fact that. So you said your grandfather fought in World War II. Did you say that your father fought in Vietnam or no?
No, that was my other grandfather was in Korea. My dad was in the Gulf.
Oof. So you come from a family of basically warrior soldier blood.
And then I was in Iraq. So
right.
You're like Lieutenant Dan.
Lieutenant Dan. You were saying something, Billy?
No, I gotta go. I was gonna say this stream now, but it was cool.
Man.
Sorry, economics isn't my strong point either, so I was a little quiet there at the end.
No, you're good, man. I
have to bash the Muslims.
I thought about actually not coming on because I do have a tendency to ramble a little bit, and I know that's a fault of mine.
No, everything was cool.
No, man, no. And I kind of, for everybody else who's watching, the other regulars, I'm sorry I didn't invite everybody fucking on, man. It becomes a clusterfuck of people, dude. And I don't like that, And plus, it was this whole stream was Billy's idea. Billy's the one that fucking contacted me this morning because he can't stream. So you want to do more of these, Billy? Let me know, man. I always love talking to you and shit.
No doubt. All right, guys. Have a good one.
Later, man.
Later.
Have fun. See him again.
Oh, why can't Billy stream? Did he lose his
Yeah, he got a strike on his channel or some shit like that. So for 2 months he can't stream.
Really? Shit.
Yeah.
That keeps happening to Failure, dude. You know how many channels he has now?
No, I've been trying to even reach out to him because I like to get back onto streaming with him and stuff like that from time to time. But no, I didn't know that happened to him. And I'm still doing YouTube. I still love it, but I got to start getting real, dude. And I got to start like I was talking at the beginning of the stream. Like I need, just like you're going back to school, I'm kind of doing that myself. I'm teaching myself now how to code so I can get some better jobs out there. Right. And plus, I want to get back into doing my art. I want to get back into drawing and doing that's my real talent. And that's why most of my videos, I don't know if you've been seeing the last ones lately, they're about drawings. And like for right now, they're like time-lapse drawings. I like to start getting into animations again. Right, and that's what I really want to do. I don't want to just get into fucking talking shit, and much less about other YouTubers. I don't give a fuck about YouTube.
Let's talk about something else then.
Yep.
Since you're doing this, because I've got 2018 is going to be a different year for Magog, and I'm banding together with other YouTubers to try to create something new. And there could be an opportunity there if you're a graphics designer, animator, or coder,
Yeah, no, for sure. Let me on. I would not sell my services yet as a coder. I'm barely understanding HTML, but as an illustrator, if there's one thing I'm very confident with is my illustrations. That I am pretty good with. So if you guys want to know, and I would love to say animation too, but I'm still trying to learn how to animate. And I know that the little bit of animation I know it's an outdated way of animating. So I'm trying to learn.
Yeah, me too. I'm still like where like my buddy Free Press Stan, who and Ghastly and AP, you know, Fright Supremacy, they're using these new like facial capture programs in order to cut down on the animation process.
Right. There's that guy, the one that looks like a little ghost.
Yeah, that's Ghastly. That's Ghastly.
Okay, that guy. Dude, yeah. When I saw him like on a stream, he was on a stream, and I think it was with you. Yeah. And I was like, oh shit, there's a technology I need to fucking find out, because I'm assuming he probably just did 3 or 4 frames, and then there's an algorithm that, you know, just pays attention to the audio waves, and then it just, you know, looks like it's talking. And what really impressed me was that it was his little icon that was doing it. It wasn't even like
he can actually make his little. They both can. AP and Ghastly both. They use Adobe Character Animator, and I think, you know, like you can use Face Rig too. That does it, and basically it captures your face, and then also the algorithm studies the sound waves. And once you have like the faces preloaded, it loads them. You know, like it automatically does kind of the lip sync for you. So that cuts down on your animation time big time.
Okay, so I'm sorry. There was Face Rig, and which one else did you mention?
The Adobe Creative Suite. One of the programs is Adobe Character Animator on the Creative Cloud. Now that's $60 a month, but for $60 a month, you get all their programs.
No, I use it. And plus, the thing is, Adobe, thanks to that company, look, that's the beauty of capitalism. I've earned my living. Like, I don't mind paying the $50 a month, because all the money I have has been thanks to Adobe. Everything, my whole fucking career has been thanks to Adobe. Well, granted, I've worked at advertising agencies. But
yeah, I actually didn't know that about you. I'm an artist too, and that's what I'm going to school for, is illustration and design.
No wonder your fucking videos are the way they are, dude.
Yeah.
No wonder, man. If you want to, go ahead. Sorry.
I try to put in a little work into mine, and I think it paid off, because I wanted to do something unique on YouTube. You know, I didn't want to be just another, you know, just another face in the crowd. I wanted to stand out, and the way I did it was I created a whole character, and I did green screen effects, CGI.
Man. I love it.
It's all low budget 90s shit, because I'm still doing it old school block animations, you know, but you know, whatever works, right?
Yeah, for sure, man. Hey, by the way, would you want to now, because I don't want to, you know, have a fucking 2-hour live stream. I'd be down for making a new stream with you if you want to talk war and foreign policy. And by the way, I was never in the military. Now at this age, it's too late for me. But now is when I kind of like, shit, and I wish I would have served this country that way. But my grandfather was a fucking warrior in the real Cuban Revolution. And so I can have some stories to talk about him. He's in a history book and everything. And then my grandfather, if I'm not mistaken, fucking fought with a machete in his hand. And I would love to talk about that, man. I would love to talk about that inevitable force of nature, which is, for the most part, I think, testosterone that keeps us fucking fighting.
Sure.
And, you want to do that now? You want to start a new stream?
Yeah, we can do that.
And can we do it on, if you wouldn't mind, can we do it on your channel? Because fucking hardly anybody watches.
So we can. I've stopped doing live streams on my main channel because I want to keep it clean with just content. But I started a live stream channel.
Oh, okay.
And, so there'd probably be a couple decent people show up over there, and we can do it on that channel if you want.
Oh, for sure, brother. So how do we do this? So I'm gonna hang up on. I guess I'm gonna end this stream. And then what? I'll just watch out for a Twitter.
Yeah. I'll just send you the link on Twitter, like you did me, as soon as I set up the stream, and it'll just be like a random Sunday, you know, out of character stream.
All right, cool, man. Talking war and foreign policy.
Right. How much time do you have?
Today I have a little bit of time, dude. How about you? How much time do you have?
Oh, it's Sunday, and I've done videos for the week, and I did a midnight jury last night, so I'm good to go. I just was curious, you know.
Cool. Yeah, I've got. I mean, you know, I don't think we need to make it 2 hours, but an hour and a half, I'd be down for, man.
Right. Yeah. Sounds good.
Cool,
let me pop over there and set it up. Everybody, go over and check out the Magog of Morskar live streams channel, and I'll be on with Nachi there in a few minutes.
Cool, man. Hey, for everybody, thank you for tuning in, man. I'm sorry I didn't let other people on. Didn't want to make it a clusterfuck, but catch us on this next one. And we'll be talking, brothers. Late.